Welcome back to networking. Okay. Welcome back to Networking with Nathaniel. This is episode 38. This is another one of those pre-recorded ones we've gone back to. I am in California right now, but I have the pleasure of being here with Jacob Debach for episode 38. He is a fellow growth coer with me. So we met during our time in the Growth Co program with Jesse Stanton. He's currently he just got married last year, August of 2023, and he's a full-time student right now pursuing heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. And as of the airing of this video, should be all done with that. So he's ready to go full-time in real estate. He's been juggling a lot of different things, right now with being a full-time student and getting stuff set up for his, future real estate career while still being a husband on, not on the side first, probably and foremost. But thanks for being here, brother. I appreciate you, man. How you doing today?
What's going on,
Yeah.
Nathaniel?
It's a beautiful day here. I'm blessed to, be able to take time out of the day and talk to you and have you on my podcast. I look forward to kind of hearing what you've been how you've been juggling it. I know a little bit about it as, you and I are accountability partners. So part of the Growth Co, for those that, aren't familiar with it, is you break up into really small groups, 3 to 4 people, and you hold each other accountable. So we've been having meetings every week. Me, Jacob, and Brandon. Me, Jacob, and Brandon. I like to play
Yeah.
with words here. And we set goals in place every week, and we try to hold each other accountable to pushing the limits of our goals and moving forward week by week. And it's not just a growth co thing. We'll be doing this for a long time coming. So I'm curious, you're coming up on, you said a week from now you should be graduated, done with freaking schooling.
College.
Yeah, done with
Yep.
college. So how have you been juggling those like three kind of big things and probably other things that I'm not even aware of? I know you like to go to the gym and stuff like that. How's it been kind of juggling all those?
Yeah, man. Shoot, juggling just kind of comes with going with the flow, right? Um, like our coach says, consistency is never a full cup every day. It's just plugging in and doing that little bit, and sometimes breaking it down to that simple of a sentence is very helpful because not every day for me has been 100-fold on the real estate and stuff like that. So um it's definitely been a struggle because I want to see more progress. I like to be focused on one thing.
Mm.
Especially after reading the book, the one thing has just like totally changed my outlook. And for me, before I've always been a kind of an airhead.
Okay.
Like if I have too much going on, it's very hard for me to stay focused and actually it's like my mind wants to resort back to multitasking every time, like
Yeah.
just which is just task switching. So jumping around like that has never really benefited me and I've always been told I'm like somewhat ADHD. I don't think so, but like I've been told that. So just
It's an easily thrown around term these days, that's for sure.
oh, too easy. Yeah. It's way thrown around everywhere. So,
Yeah, it's funny. Like so, you mentioned the one thing that was part of our like prerequisite to kind of starting with the Growth Co. That way, you're focused on that one thing. Um, I like to, think of it as I'm wearing different hats, right? You have the husband hat, you've been having, a big college student hat, right? You're still focused on making sure that you put your best foot forward in that. And then you have the real estate hat and you have the exercise hat. So, being able to take that off and go, okay, I have the husband hat on now. Now what's the one thing,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you're able to compartmentalize it a little bit. How's it? I know you mentioned like it's been tough for you because you really, you see real estate as the future for you. It kind of fell into your lap a little bit. I think you mentioned you were wholesaling for like a year. Is that right?
Yeah. And it went on way before that. I mean, I was kind of stuck in the education. I would call it the education glitch for quite a while, where you don't really believe in yourself because you're in the education phase and then you just get stuck there
Yeah.
forever. So, Well,
Yeah,
not
being in,
forever.
well, yeah. Some people they do get stuck there forever. It's like what do they call it? Analysis paralysis kind of thing, and you just get
Yeah.
afraid to take action. So it's
Yeah.
how has it been? How have you been dealing with, seeing this as your future, but right now being able to focus on what, your present kind of the HVAC schooling is taking up a lot of your time.
The question is, how have I been juggling
Well,
the
like, how
two?
has it been? How have you been dealing with that kind of angst of like, I want to do real estate, but I got to finish this thing that I set out to finish?
Oh, dude, that's an easy question. And our Jesse actually really helped with this because when we started journaling, that was when I really started realizing the progress that I'm making. Just jotting things down every day that I'm doing has really like put my mindset in a place where I'm positively thinking about the the things that I'm getting done. That was huge, man. And looking at those wins at the end of the day, it's just like I can't even begin to explain how that has helped me. It was definitely hard at first getting that habit built in, but I'm starting to like the journaling now, and it's starting to grow. Like I'm starting to do my own little things in the journal now, throw like little thoughts in here and there instead of just writing tasks that I've accomplished throughout the day. And I've even added into putting time in there. So for a while, I wasn't putting in how much time I was spending on these tasks, but
Okay.
yeah, and just recently I started putting in the amount of time, and it's just like, I'm most days I'm doing things for the real estate business. Well, every day I am,
Yeah.
but some days I because I have school in the evening, so I'm in school from 5 to 10 p.m. It's
Yeah.
actually pretty terrible.
Yeah.
It is a terrible schedule. So if if I don't get as much done as I'd liked, or if I didn't get an actual task completed for the real estate, if I just put that time in, like, hey, I spent 4 hours doing this today,
Mm,
um,
mm,
it's like, man, I'm doing my one thing. Like I'm
yeah.
I'm getting my time block in. I'm getting my things done. So it's just like another way of positive thinking.
Yeah. Well, I like that. And as you're saying it, I'm thinking, well, how can we switch it's terrible, the scheduling, which I agree it's terrible, 5 to 10. But, being in Alaska, you can switch it and say, well, in California, it would be 6 o'clock, right? And in on the East Coast, you're starting at 9 o'clock. So there's like not you can't really do a whole lot other than your personal things. So like, there's a little switch you can make there, but I could see it being tough to like get out of school. It's 10 o'clock at night now. I want to get up and like perform in the morning, but I'm tired and I got to wind down, so to speak. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty rough. But I love the journaling. You mentioned writing down what you're doing. Are you doing it like literally every single thing you do, or you're just writing down kind of the real estate stuff at this point?
No, I'm actually writing down everything I'm doing. And it's not like I'm going to the bathroom. I'm not drinking a glass of water, but like if I'm talking to someone on the phone for a while, hanging out with family, like those are all important things, And in the one thing, the book, there's, you have to juggle your health, your hobbies, your family, your business. Like those are the main things that are important in our lives.
Yeah.
Um, so it's not just I'm basically putting down everything that matters in
Yeah.
that.
And then we just talked about this in the coaching call last night, actually, like, once a quarter, once a month, once a quarter, something like that. You like write all these things down and then you can go back and look and like, oh man, a lot of people spend time on Instagram. Man, I spent 45 minutes every day on Instagram. Like that's time I could, gain back by putting it towards something that's going to push my needle forward. Unless, of course, you're spending it on Instagram, like posting and creating content and responding to right? You're doing your
Yeah.
your marketing stuff. But um, so you're going to be done when this thing airs with school, and what is your, next 3 to 6 months kind of look like as far as real estate goes? Like, what are the action plans you're putting in place?
Well, I kind of wish I had my worksheet
Yeah.
with me right
Yeah.
here because there's a lot more than what I'm about to say, but it's big, man. I mean, it's 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 going to be big. So we're hiring an operations manager. I have someone in mind right now. I think is going to be a great fit for me and my brother.
Nice.
Also, my brother Nick. He's my business partner. For anyone who doesn't know that,
Everybody. Yeah.
everybody does now.
Yeah.
We're So he's full time pilot, and that's burning him out. So I might have to pick up the slack for a little bit until he's able to go part time with that. But operations manager is going to be first thing, and then obviously we're going to have to get that role going. That's going to be a challenge. I mean, it's all going to be a challenge until we're actively doing it. You probably know all this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So once we get them hired, we're going to set up SOPs and hit the ground running. Nick's kind of been talking to friends about raising money. It's crazy how much money he's sitting around working as a pilot, dude. Those
Yeah.
guys, it's crazy.
Mm.
Like they're all like low key business owners over there. So he's got a lot of opportunity there. Um, I think with my experience being a wholesaler, I'm gonna have no problem being able to reach out to these people and find these people and connect with them.
Yeah.
So I between our social media and well, yeah, just with our social media, we're getting that started here soon too. We're building out our calendars for the plans of that, the
Okay.
strategy there.
Yeah.
So that's going to be big. I'd like to get that started sooner than later because, like we've all been talking about lately, is it's a hard thing to do.
The
It's a hard
social
thing to
media.
start. Yeah, dude. And for me, social media has always been like I'm not winning right now. I'm not making wins like Pace
Yeah.
Morby's making.
Yeah.
I'm not making wins like but it's like first off, I can serve other people,
Yep.
and that's what it's all about. Um, Second, I'm not only just serving them, but we're connecting and making connections that are going to last.
Yeah. That's
And
funny.
I can also teach to learn doing this stuff. I think that's big. That's something I didn't really think about before, but our coach has been having us do these teach to learn things with the things he's been teaching us, and it's like, dude, that stuff is really how you learn.
Hmm.
It is.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be big with social media and stuff. It's like, hey, the first month, what me and Nick are doing we're doing PML. We're teaching private money lending,
Yeah.
and it's like, what better thing could we teach than that? Since that is the number one most important thing after hiring our operations manager,
Yep.
we need to get our money rolling. So I'm going to be helping out with the PML raising. I think as soon as school's up, I'm going to start really diving into that and talking to people. I mean, even if I don't know everything to say right away, I think just jumping into the conversations is just how it's got to be.
Yeah.
That's how it was for wholesaling too.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
started
It's
calling sellers.
like you mentioned a lot of stuff here just on the social media aspect of things that are like very relevant. I don't know if I would guess that almost everybody is feeling the same way as you and I have both felt. I'm not doing the deals right now, so I don't have anything to post, right? But like, what did you do today? Did you do anything and learn a lesson from it? Like, post that, right? Um, you might know, you might not know him because he's a sub 2 leader, but Marlon Johnson talks about like you're creating day one fans, right? You're creating these, like you mentioned, connections with these people. They're able to come see like, oh, hey, this is where he started. Like, hey, that's where I'm at. I'm just getting started too. So you're like, you're making these people, he calls them day one fans because they're watching you come up from day one. And so like, yeah, getting over that hurdle, it's tough because you say like, I don't have anything to say. I don't have any value to give. And then we talked about it last night. Then you start doing deals and now you're like, oh, I don't want to post this because now I'm just bragging about the deals that I'm doing. And that seems like odd. But I love how you're mentioning the teach to learn thing. Like we're here to serve, and a lot of what I do is helping out people that are just getting started, and helping them grow because I want them to go out and be successful, and then hopefully bring me deals and I can be their buyer on them as well. So like you're ingraining these things into your head every time you're talking with somebody else about them, and you're like they ask questions and help you to see things in a different way, and therefore you're making your knowledge even stronger. So I love that. You mentioned you kind of touched over it briefly. You don't have to go into the detail of what you're doing because I don't want you to give away secret sauce, but you mentioned a calendar for what you're talking about, for your posting. Can you kind of explain that a little bit, Jacob?
Yeah, and I'm just going to kind of explain it how Coach Jesse Stanton
Yeah.
does it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not as good at teaching as he is, but I'll tell you
This is
kind
your
of how
teach
I
to learn
understand.
here.
Yeah, I'll teach you how I understand. I understand it. So, we're supposed to be attacking this like someone attacks a freaking building a house, right? There's structural drawings, there's building plans, there's mechanical drawings, there's specifications, I mean, the depth just goes and goes and goes. There's, materials that need to be specific materials that you need to have, sorry, in order to build things. So if we're not approaching our social media like a strategic plan like that, they both go hand in hand. They both make sense, at least to me.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's another way of going about it, and that's the tactical way. Um, they both go hand in hand as well. So the strategy is, I'm building out this monthly calendar that I know going into each day what I'm going to do on social media, what I'm going to post, where I'm going to post, what I'm going to post about. And I think that's the most important thing. It's like if you're not consistent in social media, it's to me, if I'm looking at someone and one day they're posting about their bad day or like their family issues or even just like their car or something, and then the next day it's like, oh, their business, they're teaching me something great, awesome, but then like the next week they're not. It's like, do I really want to be like that person?
Yeah.
Why would
That's been
you
my
like
history so Hey, look at my peach tree. Look at the kids jumping on the trampoline. Hey, the seal
yeah,
I did.
dude, I'm not even doing this yet.
Yeah.
So this is something we're working on,
No.
but it makes sense. And once we get started, it's going to be like Jesse said, your brain just kind of
Yeah.
expands to it, and then you're never gonna, it'll never be the same. Once
Right.
you start doing these things, it's ingrained in your brain.
And it becomes your habit. Like it's going to be weird on the days that you don't do it. You're going to feel like, oh, I'm missing something today.
Yeah,
Right. And
yeah,
I love
exactly.
this, like the content calendar that you're creating, right? You're doing a bunch of work today. So tomorrow and for the next 30 days, or it may take a week for you to put this content calendar. Who knows? But it's taking the like mental thought of every day having to do it. You just go, what day am I on? 4. Okay. Boom, boom. Put that stuff into wherever you're posting it and it's done. So you're
Hmm.
doing the strategic part now, and then you're going and you're doing the tactical part by just applying what you've done in the strategy session. So I love that. It's not stopping you from making other posts as well, but this is like these are what I have set off for this next 30 days. So you're creating yours around private money. Is
Yeah,
that correct? Okay, so then can you
yeah.
kind of explain how you're going about building this calendar out? Like again, don't give away your secret sauce about what you're specifically building your calendar around, but like what are the kind of tactical things that you're going to do to build the strategy part?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. And I'm just going to go and tell you what the intentions are here. And dude, I'm still in the middle of this thing. So the plan is it's me and my brother. We want to create a community on YouTube where we're
Okay.
teaching and we're growing people and we're also building our network through it. Um, and we're gonna kind of go about that through our Instagram page. And
Okay.
I think I'm pretty sure we haven't told anyone this yet, but I think the name is going to be the Pact, REI.
Okay.
Kind of like, the promise, the pact.
Yeah, I like it.
We're growing together. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're gonna go about kind of posting and promoting through Instagram and Facebook, doing our daily posts through those two platforms and then doing two to three weekly videos
Okay.
on Instagram or sorry, YouTube. So that's a lot of videos.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be a little easier than we think. It doesn't have to be like 10 to 20-minute videos.
It's actually better if they're
Um,
not.
yeah, yeah, and we're gonna try to bring people on here and there. I'd say probably once a month we bring someone that we go and search out and find to hop on and talk about their experience with private money lending, and then we do two little like teach to learns basically.
Yeah. I love that.
So that's I don't know if that answered the question completely, but
Sideways. I'll direct it a little bit better. Like,
okay.
how are you, so this content calendar that you're creating, how are you actually putting stuff into the calendar that you're going to be able to pull from? Like, what strategies are you using to like do your research, I guess?
Well, yeah, from what I've learned, Google is a great resource for that. I mean, if you're going in, if you know your audience, you know what you want to teach. I mean, if you go and search up on Google, you can go and see what people are already looking at.
Yeah.
What are people's number one thoughts when it comes to PML? There's going to be those questions right there when you type it into Google. That's going to be, I guess, a
Mhm.
little bit of the secret.
Yeah. How do I get started lending on real estate or how do I get into real estate? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're using Google to figure out what search words people are actually searching for.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna build your posts around that. So you're gonna be able to kind of take the algorithm, I guess. You're gonna take advantage of the algorithm and hopefully boost up your posts that way, bump them up. Um,
Yeah. And also, this was an idea I had as well, is I could literally just go and ask people what they want to know about it in Facebook groups.
mm,
I mean, just going out and asking the public.
yeah, and then create videos and stuff around that.
Yeah.
And bring yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know, brilliant. It's smart though. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
No one's ever done that before.
Yeah. So what is the kind of the ultimate goal for you? You're bringing on this operations manager. You're going to start making all these, marketing posts so you can bring in private money lenders. What is like the 12-month, 36-month kind of goal look like for you and Nick for the pact?
The pact. I love
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
dude. You know, as our measurable goal, something that we can like click the box, every time we get closer to it would be we're shooting for 100 doors in our first year. That's a pretty basic answer though. I think the real goal for me is to be able to set this goal, create this massive action plan for it, and see how that it's like a proof of concept for me. I think
Mhm.
that's the real goal. Because then from there, I can go and do whatever I want. I can set any goal that I want. Like if
Yeah.
I want to go into commercial, I have these principles that I can go back to and build a plan from that I've been taught from the Growth Co. and apply them and shoot for the moon, you know?
Yeah.
Like how does Jesse say that? If we're focused on 5 grand a month, you know, our plan is built around 5 grand a month.
Hmm.
I think he says it way better than I'm butchering right
Yeah,
now.
I'll
But like,
butcher it as well, but like, yeah,
yeah, help me out here.
if you like, most people don't have a problem setting their target too high and missing. They set their target super low and they just sit there and hit it all day. So like when you're setting your targets at $5,000 a month, while that's life changing for most people, right? You end up stuck in the $5,000 a month mindset. We end up solving the $5,000 a month problems, right? Which is for a lot of us, it's like us on the phone talking to sellers, us on the phone talking to buyers and trying to connect those people. I did a deal this month. I made 5 grand, right? When you're solving the 50,000, the 100,000, the like $1 million a month problems, it forces you to think from a different mindset. Like I can't be on the phone talking to sellers, right? I
Yeah.
need to figure out what the path of least resistance to getting to that goal is. And Jesse, it's like this is turning into a growth co-promotional,
Yeah.
which I don't have a problem with at all. Like it's been amazing. I'll do anything to help push
Dude,
people that
yeah.
way because it's life changing. But um, you know, you're kind of switching your mentality. We've been doing a lot. Like people ask me, like, what are you working on right now? Like, what deals are you looking at? And for the past 10 weeks, I haven't even really, other than to help other people out, I haven't really looked at a deal. And that's weird, but we've been building this machine, so to speak, that we're going to turn on like next week. We're turning it on next week and we're going like, we're going to break it. We're going to try to figure out what the heck breaks so we can fix it and make it better the next time. So we've been building this machine for like 8 weeks now, and we're excited to turn it on and see what the heck breaks, which is again a weird thing to think like, wait, you're trying to break? Yeah, we're trying to break our business because that's how we grow. We do go up a little bit, the business breaks, we come down, we go, what the heck do we need to fix? And we grow some more, and we go
Yeah.
try to break it again. I got a little off track there, but yeah, I think we kind of worked it back
Dude,
together.
no,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're,
Keep
oh,
going.
I mean, and yeah, I wanted to mention like you're setting this goal. It's like almost you're setting the goal so you can accomplish the goal, which is the goal of realizing that you can accomplish the goal.
Dude, yes. Yeah, as dumb as that sounds, man,
Yeah.
it's proof of concept for myself.
Yeah.
I've always been like you know, until I achieve something, you know, I don't really have belief
Mm.
that I can go and do it again.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
No,
It's
I mean, I totally agree with you. Like I have a whiteboard right here, and over the years we've had goals on there, and you look at the goals and while you want to achieve them, you don't necessarily believe them, right? But this is the first time that you like look at the goal and you're like, oh, it's it's not if, it's when that's going to happen. It's probably going to happen sooner than I even think it's going to happen. Um, and it's also like all these skills and techniques and things and mindset shifts, and they're not just applicable to real estate. Like setting a goal and being able to break down your goal from the 12-month to a weekly goal, you can do that with freaking anything. So that's
yeah,
what's really incredible. I mean, you can do it with from like literally weight loss to building a any other business that you want.
yeah,
It's just about breaking things down and like Jesse likes to say the goal is not the goal. Like it's the actions that the goal is just the compass that's saying, yeah,
the
that's where we're
result.
heading, right? It's all the actions that you're putting in place. That's the goal, that are the real goals. So like, putting this 30-day calendar together, putting two to three videos out a week, right? Raising $5 million in capital. Like those are the goals. All the little things that you're doing along the way to kind of keep you going towards your North Star, so to speak. But um,
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we ask these couple questions at the end. I'm
Okay.
gonna put you on the spot because we didn't talk about them beforehand. But
Okay.
what's the most exciting thing you've done lately?
Oh, dude, like the aha with the operations manager.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
dude.
it's a lot.
Like, so I actually, a big thing about it is we haven't bought any deals yet.
Right.
I know I'm going to buy deals.
Yeah.
That's not the thing. My question when when we got into the growth co and our first task was to go and hire an operations manager. I was like, dude, how am I going to pay this person? How's this going to work out? I have no backing to tell them that I'm doing this business.
Right.
But it's like Applebee's when they sprout up in the middle of nowhere, they don't they hire servers before they pop up.
Yeah.
Like they're not a business without that key piece. So if we're wanting to hit these massive goals, we need someone to help us fill the gaps. We
Yeah.
need to be able to focus on our one thing. So I think that's been probably the most. It's like we're doing the things that big businesses are doing. People that have intention in their business.
Yeah.
So I think
That's good.
that's probably been the biggest exciting thing for me. And
Yeah.
just the act of hiring is going to hold me and my brother to a level of accountability that not just like me and you talking every night is going to do, like
Right.
I'm having to provide for this person. I heard you say this the other day, we're having to provide for them and their family.
Yeah.
So
Oh no, I said it differently though, Jacob.
gosh dang it, dude.
Yeah, here we go. You ready?
Let's
That's
go.
the I because it was something that I was struggling with, and I actually heard Kevin Cho say something, and again, I'll probably mess up the way he said it because he said it very well, but we think of we're bringing this person on and like, man, I have to make sure that they're taken care of. And the switch that he flipped is I get to make sure that they're being taken care of because I know that I'm going to show up every day and put the work in. Whereas if like, they were relying on somebody else, Joe Schmo, I don't know that they're going to be taken care of. So like I get the opportunity to go put the work in. Like, yeah, it's good. There's pressure on me, right? I gotta continue to put the work in. I can't really take days off anymore, like I got to make sure that they're provided for. They're being uplifted and they're getting the opportunities that they need to survive because we hired somebody with a family, right? So just like we have, like I got to make sure that I'm putting the work in every day, but I get to do that because I know that I'm going to show up and I'm going to put the work in every day. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you had the essence of what you said was that the one little word I have to be
Yeah.
between I get to, just like yeah, it's just a little switch that it's beautiful. It's just
I
amazing.
haven't heard that before, so that's
Yeah.
a new switch I
Yeah.
got to learn this
Just
morning.
click it. Yeah. Oh, we mentioned the one thing, the book, The One Thing. Are there any books or like podcasts or any documentaries or anything like that that have inspired you, pushed you, like things that just like kind of really changed the game for you other than that, The One Thing?
Well, I am reading a book right now. It's called The Search for Significance.
Okay.
Um, I am not a big religious man or anything, but I do believe that there's a higher power, and I believe that I believe in Christ. So I've been reading this book called The Search for Significance, and it's a book on finding, your purpose in life and not letting your past or things you've done like shame, control your life, and whether we believe that our past controls our life that much or not, it has a massive play in the way your brain thinks and things like that. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to have a whole massive mindset shift here, to really believe in the significance that I have in my life and whatever I choose to be. So that's
Yeah.
been a great book.
Mm. I like it. I'm
I'm
kind
sure
of
everyone's heard of Billy Graham, but Billy Graham recommends everybody read that book.
okay. Sweet. I've been collecting books from people and I have an ongoing list. So like my plan is maybe on episode 52, like when we hit the year mark, which is gonna come up quicker than I, realize it. I'm gonna just like drop a book list or something. Because there's been some great ones on there. The typical Rich Dad, Poor Dad, those types of books, but I like other ones that kind of are unreal estate related or but they're still helping you achieve the things that you want to achieve. It kind of reminds me of like a little bit, and correct me if I'm wrong here, like it's cliche, but it's not the destination, it's the journey, right? And your journey is what's leading you to where you are and where you're going, right? Everybody experiences the world completely differently based on how they've experienced the world leading up to that point.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so
really.
I love it.
And a lot of people don't start things like this because of
Mm.
things that have happened to them in the past. They don't believe in themselves. And really, dude, I'm a Joe Schmo. Like anyone can learn these principles and start putting them in place, dude, and shoot for the moon. And I think everyone should go out there and take a chance and risk it. Cause if you got to cast your lot,
Mm.
you got to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
You'll not experience the things that you want to in life. So
I would typically say, hey, do you have any parting words at this point, Jacob? But I think that was it, man. Like take the shot, like cast your lot, take like, put the plan in place, but then go take the action, right? And that's what you've been doing. And I know that, we've talked that you've been down at points because you felt like you weren't making the progress you want to be making, but you've just got to pat yourself on the back that you you've got this 5 hour a day school thing, and then that spills over because you've got stuff that you've got to take care of outside of the classwork, and you've been taking action towards the goal every day, even if it's 30 minutes a day. Like those 30 minutes add up over the course of 3, 6, 12 months, and you're a completely different person than you were 12 months ago, right? So I know that you know that, like even 8 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
even 8 weeks ago,
Yeah.
dude.
So I feel the same way. Like, like you talked about hiring the operations manager. Like, how are we supposed to do this? I've never done a short-term rental before, right? I've never done a midterm rental before, but I'm connected to a lot of people that have, and I just can lean on them too. So, but we're gonna get this thing done, and I look forward to growing and seeing what 12 months from now, what we're able to look back on. What is this coming out on May 8th, I think.
That May 8th, you told me. Yeah.
Yeah, so Jacob, if somebody wanted to kind of reach out to you, whether they're, a wholesaler just getting started and wanted to connect with you and kind of learn from you, or they're a private money lender, or they're a wholesaler with deals, like, is there a best place to kind of reach out to you? What do you prefer kind of as somebody to get a hold of you?
Yeah, Facebook, Jacob Debach. I think you can share that in the comments or something,
I'll put a
right?
link in the description to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Calendly as well. If you just want to
Okay.
hop on and have a chat, man. I mean, I'm always going to be chatting with people, so we can just if we don't have anything that we can share and help each other with, we'll be on the lookout for someone who can because I'm always talking to people. So
Yeah, cool. I feel the same way, like just connecting and putting the pieces together. So I will link the Facebook. I mean, it's pretty plain. He's got his name written right there. Just search for that, but I'll link it in the description to make it easier, and I'll link that calendar as well. Click on that, connect with Jacob. He's got a lot to give, and he's going pretty fast, especially after this video has aired. He's going to be just so pay attention to this, man. It's been a pleasure, brother.
yeah, man. Thank you so much.
Later,
Yeah,
dude.
thanks for having me. I love it.